Hello folks, this is Steve AB4L. I'm in Franklinville, Randolph County, North Carolina. There's the fire station. I'm in the Riverside Park. That's Main Street up there. There's the Deep River. This was the rail line years ago, but now it's the part of Deep River Trail. And the diner and the town hall and so on are up in that building, and I'm down here behind the baseball pitch. Now, in the past, as part of the Old Mill Project playlist, I showed you some other signs like this. Now, I'm hand holding. I haven't done this one. There were companies here that had to do with using the water power of the river for grain processing into flour. So we're along the Deep River Trail in the Franklinville rail portion, and this sign is about Dainty Biscuit Flour, Franklinville's signature product. Now you won't see a wood. This is a view of the roller mill from the river, so that's on the river side of looking at the building around 1915. What's a roller mill? You put harvested grain in and it flattens it, or more. Taste freshness. This is obviously from a sack label. Dainty Biscuit, taste freshness, enriched self-rising flour, bleached. Manufactured by Randolph Mills Incorporated, Franklinville, NC. Now they have a postal code. They must have added that in later, I'm guessing. And that would be a 25-pound sack. Now, if you're in a farm, you might buy one of those, or you might be a bakery. Use Dainty Biscuit Flour and Excelsior Feeds. So down there, you've seen it in other videos, they're the silos, the towers. That's what they put the grain into, and the roller mill was next to them. That had other, next to the textile mills too, they used the sacks from the textile mill to fill them with the flour that was ground at the roller mill, and they got the grain out of the silos, and farmers came and loaded the grain into the silos, selling it to them. That's how it still works, just not here. So it's saying David Smith right and Jim Myrick left stand with a mountain of Dainty Biscuit flour, at one time made in Franklinville, North Carolina, to be used for Kiwanis Pancake Day. Kiwanis Pancake Day. There we go. So you make pancakes from them too. And here's a map where we are. Now, she's being old. Let me clear my throat. For more than 2 centuries, wheat and corn were ground into flour and meal in Franklinville. Well, if this was put up last year, and they say for more than 200 years, and it's now 2024, so we're talking a part of the early part of the 19th century. And that's right, I've shown you that the mill stuff started to get going maybe around 1830, 1840. The mills in this area. For more than 2 centuries, wheat and corn were ground into flour and meal in Franklinville. In 1912, the Franklinville Manufacturing Company built a new kind of mill, a roller mill, 4 times the size of the old grist mill. So the old grist mill, I believe, was 2 stones shaped a certain way, one rotating on top of a stationary one, and you fed the grain in there, and it crushed and ground it, and it fell out the other side. But a roller mill may have had steel rollers. That's a guess. No longer grinding wheat between two, oh, there it is, between two rocks, just like I said. I haven't read this before, but I've seen them. I've seen the mills. Steel rollers with sharp metal burrs pulled the wheat germ out of the husk without crushing it. Okay, that's a flavor enhancement, not have the germ in with the endosperm kernel. White or cake flour could be sold at a higher price and become the town's best known product. So they went to a better product by not having the wheat germ in it. You know, like when you eat peanuts, there's that little thing down there, the little nub, you knock it off because it kind of does taste different. Same idea. It's the embryo of the new plant if you germinated the seed. The three-story frame roller mill began producing a variety of products: Randolph cornmeal, hush puppies, Excelsior whole wheat flour, that would be with the not scraping off the outside, and Dainty Biscuit white flour. Also new to production were various animal feeds. There was a chicken raising down there. Farmers bring their eggs in, fertilized, you raise the chicks, you sell them back to the farmers to have chickens sell to, and also people in their yard, like when I was a kid, something left over from the Second World War, when there were rationing. Also new to production were various animal feeds made from the rough parts of wheat not suitable for a human diet. The roller mill expanded to include 5 stands of rollers, and Dainty Biscuit flour was improved to include baking soda, right, and enriched with added minerals. The county's first self-rising flour, which means there were other mills doing it somewhere in Randolph County. Randolph County is pretty big. We're one of the largest counties in North Carolina. I think only Sampson County is basically larger. A freestanding feed mill and warehouse was built in 1938. See, I mentioned the feed, along with 4 terracotta tile silos. You've seen those. That's where the museum signs are hanging from, down near the burnt out mills. Terracotta silos for the storage of corn and wheat. In 1940, Excelsior Feeds was introduced. Wheat and cracked corn mixed with molasses for dog, cat, pet foods, and farm feed, horse, cow, and chicken feed. Eventually, the mill produced 1 million pounds of feed each month. That kept the farmers going, didn't it? And 1,000 barrels of flour per day. In 1940, a hatchery was added to the complex. Yeah, I mentioned that. And by 1958, it had the capacity of incubating 250,000 eggs at a time to make chicks for people to grow. You know, the people out of North Carolina, I've shown you how the trucks go by my house still. We're a major poultry producer. Yeah, that chicken you eat from the supermarket, some of it came from us. In 1958, 6 new concrete silos were built with a civil defense grant ensuring the mill could store extra wheat and corn in case of nuclear war. I'm old enough that we used to even do nuclear attack drills in grade school. Go out of the classroom, line up by a wall, put our hands behind our heads, and lean. Bankruptcy of the Randolph Mill's textile operations in 1978 temporarily closed the roller mill. It reopened only to run sporadically until 1988, when it closed permanently. An 8-alarm fire on November 23, 1991. Think of the Worthville Mill fire last week. You've seen my video about that. I saw the smoke all the way from here, 10 miles. An 8-alarm fire on November 23, 1991, completely destroyed the roller and feed mills ending Franklinville's long history of milling. Now let's see if I can get up. Okay, I think that's interesting. It fills me in. So the sign is here, but you've seen the videos, it's down there. Steve A.B. Foyle, just loving. You know the signs that are on the side of the silos? There you go, there they are, right there. Steve A.B. Foyle, just loving it all. Saying see you in 73.